Hello, hello, my networking friend. It's so good to see you today. I can't even believe it's Wednesday. It's like every day just kind of rolls into the next one. It's so good to see you. So I'm glad to be here with all of you to raise vibrational energy. I hope you're ready to raise your vibrational energy too, because I've got a great networking know-how for you today. Yes, that is what we are here for. It is networking know-how where I help you network more stress-free like we do in our Down and Dirty Networking online community. And today we had our Down and Dirty Networking member event, and it was interesting, the topic of discussion, and it kind of ties in to what we're going to talk about today. So today what we're going to talk about is actually to answer a question that from a couple of videos ago. So every Wednesday I go live helping you with these tips. I go live every Wednesday afternoon between 3:30 and 5:30 p.m. Central. But today I'm answering a question that Nicole posed on one of my previous videos about how to follow up post event when you've attended a virtual or in-person event. How do you follow up with all the networking? How do you keep it from being so overwhelming and daunting? And so she asked a question that's going to expand this. So I kind of did a two-part. That question came on part two. So part one was how do you choose an event based on your networking personality? Part two was how do you follow up post event? And this is going to be kind of part three. So Nicole, I hope you're watching. This is going to be to answer your question about how do you follow up post trade show event so that Kings could be a little bit more meaningful. And so I'm going to kind of address that because you asked a few more other details in your question, and I'm going to dig into that. But I think I'm getting ahead of myself. I see some people live watching. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. All right. So I've opened up chat. If you are here and you're watching live or on replay, get in chat, say hello, let me know where you're watching from. It's so much more fun and meaningful when we can connect, if even in the virtual space or via chat. So make sure to play along. It makes it a little bit more fun and interesting for all of us. Now, if this is your first time tuning in and you're wondering who the heck is this, and why should I keep watching? Forgive me. Let me introduce myself. I'm Laura Morlando, the Stress Commando, and I am the founder CEO of Down and Dirty Networking. We are a 100% relational networking online community, and we are only open to the public less than 5 times a year. So only 4 times a year you are able to check us out, test drive what it's about, and if we're a fit, great, you can join our community. And today wasn't that day. Today was all about members only. In between the times we're opening things up to the public, we are locked into our online community. We are free of traditional networking, no 30-second commercials or sales pitches. It is about having meaningful conversations to learn from and about someone to build lasting and authentic relationships. And this is what we have coined and call relational networking. And this is the game changer that will catapult your career or business. This is what's going to change your vibrational energy and make all the difference in the world. And for Nicole, for the question that she asked, this is going to be the game changer for how you approach and follow up with trade shows from her specific perspective. So let me talk about what I'm getting into. So let's dig into it. So I originally talked to you about how you use your networking personality. First, how do you determine what your personality is, and then how you use that to determine what events are the best events for you to attend. Once you know what events to attend, then I gave you a part two on how to follow up after the event. That makes it really seamless, less like a chore, and really allow you to have deeper connections. But Nicole asked a very specific question. She's like, she wanted to know my perspective on following up at a trade show specifically. So you're a trade show, you're a vendor, and you've got people who have reached out to you showing interest in the thing that you are demonstrating. So maybe your product or service. So there's a couple of different ways that I'm going to dig into this because you're going to have two categories of follow-ups in an event like that. And so I want to make sure that I'm addressing all of those areas, plus the question you asked, Nicole. So the number one tip, no matter what you do at a trade show, you want to make sure you are engaging from a relational networking mindset. Even if you're there to exchange transactions, maybe make sales and get clients and leads, which is very typical in a sales environment. That's also very typical when people think of traditional or transactional networking. When you hear the word networking, most people's default definition of networking, because quite honestly, that was my definition. Let me know if that was yours, is that it's about selling and telling. It's an extension of the sales activity. It's an extension of the business development activity. And though there are some truth to that, there's a whole nother piece that I have found and discovered that's outside of that. And when done well and when done authentically, yields far more results on the transactional side of things. And so that's why I'm coming to answer your question from this perspective. Oh, hey, I see somebody watching live. Hey, thanks for watching. I'm glad you're here. Okay. So again, the question is, how do you follow up post trade show when you are demonstrating your product or service and you've got all of these people to follow up? So first, I'm going to rewind a little bit and I want you to approach the event. If you're a vendor and you're going to be doing a trade show, you need to have a strategic plan before you go to the show. So what are you demonstrating? How are you demonstrating? How are you capturing information from those that are interested? And what's the follow-up plan? All of that needs to be decided upon on the front end. That's a business development activity. So I have another company with Laura Milando, the Stress Commando. So in addition to Down and Dirty Networking, which is our online community, I am a working stress-free with AI marketer, an AI strategist. And so let me put my marketing hat on for you. If I were talking to you as a marketing consultant, I would tell you to make sure you've got a plan. Is the thing you're offering and demonstrating speaking to the audience that's at the trade show? You always want to know who your audience is and tailor every offering to that audience. Number one. Number two, is that audience your ideal client? Because if it's not, why are you even there? It's kind of a waste of energy. And I'm a big proponent on not wasting energy, especially with the current health journey that I'm on. Energy is a premium and I invest it wisely. I don't just throw it away. And so I would encourage you to not throw it away. So at a trade show, you want to be really strategic about what you're doing. Does this 100% line up for you? I had a client of mine that was so excited they were being gifted this great opportunity. And when we really looked at it, it was an easy no because it didn't align with who they were and their ideal client wasn't there. Great opportunity, celebrate the ask, but it just didn't fit. Had they gone, I think it would have been a waste of time, money, and energy. And I think they would have been disappointed with the lack of results. So if you've been throwing a lot of mud at the wall and you're not getting results, I'm going to suspect you want to look at your overall strategy and make sure that you've got a proper plan. And if you want to talk more about that, so Nicole, if that's where your question was going in, reach out to me and I'll put on my Laura Merlando, the Stress Commando hat, and we'll talk in that space. But when you're planning the strategy as it relates to networking, remember, if you have a relational networking mindset and you want to learn from and about people to build lasting and authentic relationships, that is the difference maker from someone who wants to make a customer in a single transaction, buy my stuff, hi, my name is, or someone who wants clients for life. I want clients for life. Down and Dirty Networking wants members for life. We want to build lasting community. I want to build lasting community. In my working stress-free with AI, lasting community. With my one-to-one clients, lasting relationships. And I'm even making sure my clients actually know each other. I can't help but connect them and network between them and develop relationships between them and synergies and connect them. It's who I am. It's what I know to do. Relational networking can be the secret sauce that holds all of that together and takes it to another level. But you have to make sure when you're going to a trade show that you're going to have a really good conversation. Don't just go for the transactions. Make sure you're going to have a conversation, have a plan for the follow up. Okay, so now, Nicole, to your specific question, how do you follow up post trade show? So if you've got the strategy in place and you've got the plan, then you've already got the system kind of in place, but you're going to have two levels of leads. You're going to have a stack of contact information from people that were visiting maybe other vendors that you were networking with. And that's a whole nother level of networking. And so if anyone's interested in how you network with other vendors at a trade show to create collaboration, drop me a comment, let me know, and maybe I'll make that a part 4 of the series because I have a whole nother perspective on that and a whole nother way of leveraging networking, especially relational networking, to expand your exposure at a trade show. And I've got proof. I've done it. I've used it for years and it just consistently works. So if you want to know about that, let me know and I'll speak to that. But back to this, you want to make sure you're having a conversation with everybody. So if you're having conversations with your vendors and they're handing you business cards, or maybe you're using a digital card solution so that you're not having to do data entry at that point, that's always a great way to capture the info, make it super simple for you to follow up. And so you would have to have a time block in your calendar to follow up with all of the other vendors, people that you just connected with. They're not interested in your service, but they're worth getting to know in a traditional, more, like we say, more realistic relational networking type way. So you'll have that category. And so before you get overwhelmed with the trade show, block off So before you even attend and step foot on the show floor, block off time in your calendar after the event for relational networking time. That's going to be the time that you're going to follow up with all of the people, like vendors and people that aren't interested in buying, but that you really need to connect with and follow up with. So whether it's sending them a text or a LinkedIn message or however you've decided you want to connect with folks, that's what you're going to do. You want your follow up to be personalized. So do not send like a group email, for example. You want things to be very personal. It's a conversation. You want to have high engagement. You want to stand out against all of the other vendors at the trade show. You need to get personalized. You need to treat people like people. And that's going to be the difference. Most people treat people like a number. So treat people like people, and that'll be the game changer in those conversations. The second thing you're going to do is after you've blocked off your relational network time, block off your time to follow up with the actual leads of people who want to buy your product or service. Now, those that want to buy, you should have already developed some kind of a funnel system or process. What's the steps for you to follow up with them? And so you're going to do that. Now, I don't know exactly, Nicole, if this is answering your question, but it was a bonus that I would tell you, regardless of who you're talking to, whether it be people interested in product or service, people interested in just connecting with you post event, it's going to take a little bit of time. We are really distracted these days. We have the attention span of less than goldfish right now. And so what used to be back in the old days, 6 times maybe you would touch somebody and then you would get a response. It's looking more like 12 plus times right now. So just keep people on a nurture sequence. Just stay in touch with them. Assume they are busy. Assume they really want to talk to you. Give them the benefit of the doubt and come from a place of benefit of the doubt as opposed to coming from a place of, hey, I've been trying to reach out to you. The minute you say you're putting them on the defensive. You are shaming them and you're actually creating distance. You're not being authentic or relational. You're treating them like a number and you're making it about you. So, my advice in whatever communication you're doing, whether it be to the sales, to people that were interested in your product or service, or to the people that you just want to connect with, you always want to reach out from a benefit of the doubt perspective to just, hey, just figure that they're busy. I've had a week. I have had a huge week and I really could use an app. Could you use an app? Because I know I could. So I'm going to make the assumption that everybody else needs an app, that everybody else is having a challenge potentially. And so I'm going to give everybody that same grace that I want back. So you've got these styles of leads. You're feeling possibly a little bit overwhelmed. You're like, oh my gosh, I've got all of this I have to do. Just make the assumption that they're doing that. Now, I love making these types of assumptions when they are the benefit of the doubt assumptions, because those are always the right call. In general, assumptions are not the best thing. But when it comes to benefit of the doubt and you assume that they're busy or they've got stuff going on and you're being of service and continuing reaching out in a very kind way, that's it. Without shaming them, you're absolutely golden. And then realize it's going to take a little bit of time. It's probably going to take about 12 plus times to get in touch with somebody. With everything I've got going on, I finally returned a phone call from somebody that she kept getting me on my off time. And so I was not available to respond immediately in my off time. And so finally, during my on time, we were able to connect. So you might be catching someone on their off time. You might work weekends and they don't. You might work late nights and they don't. You don't know what their schedule is. So you don't know when they're available. So just give them benefit of the doubt. Know that they gave you your information because they want to hear from you. And so just reach out as if they're going to be your best friend. And so that's the next tip. Reach out to everyone like they're your best friend. Treat them like you already know them. Don't feel like you have to prove yourself with anything. So whatever languaging that you're sending to people, if you're doing it by email or text or social media or whatever your follow-up plan is, or even if you're doing it by phone, just reiterate how excited you are. Hey, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Just really, I'm just following up on this information. Hope you had a great trade show. I'm curious, what was the biggest thing that you loved about the trade show? Oh my gosh, have you had any time to recover? I don't know about you, but I walked a mile. Would love to connect with you, answer these questions that you had, and get right to it. Say, this is where we met. Here's why I'm calling you, and here's the information that you're looking for. Let's talk, connect, email, whatever the way you want them to return to you. Keep it super, super simple. Don't feel like you have to do a whole lot of rapport building. Just get right to what they need, but do treat them like a person. Just let them know you're not a robot. You're an actual human being that absolutely cares. I have found that when you approach things from a relational networking mindset, you treat people like people, you get yourself out of your way, you give everybody the benefit of the doubt, and you pre-plan your process and you pre-block the time that you're going to need after the event to actually do your follow-up, poof. Not only does the follow-up happen, but so does the magic because you're engaging through relational networking mindset and you're concerned and curious about learning from and about somebody. So I hope this is helpful, Nicole. I don't know if this was exactly what you were looking for, but if not, let me know and we'll do a part 4. If those of you would like to know a little bit more about how you network with other vendors and what that strategy could look like, let me know and I'll make that the next video. But the key here is just treat people like people, treat them like they're your best friend, give everyone the benefit of the doubt, and give yourself grace and them. Give them grace and just keep moving forward. It's all about being consistent. It's the little things done consistently over time that have the biggest impact. All too often, everyone's looking for the big sale, the big sale, the big sale. I was able to help various companies get to be branded. Like there was a credit union I helped get to be 5th ranked in Northern California doing this same strategy that I'm telling you. We pre-planned it, we had a strategy, we executed on it, and then we reviewed what made sense. And we made sure everything was aligned to our ideal client. And it worked like a champ. And I've done it time and time and time again, even as an entrepreneur, even with some of my clients. So I promise you, if you are intentional about it, if you are strategic about it, and you lead with the relational networking mindset to have a client for life and not only a transaction or sale, you will do fantastic. If you'd like to know more and you want me to wear my other hat as the marketer, reach out to me. Find me on LinkedIn and Facebook, or even here on YouTube. You look for Laura Orlando, the Stress Commando. And if you'd like to know a little bit more about how you network with vendors, go ahead and reach out to me on my personal profile or look for the Down and Dirty Networking page on YouTube, Facebook, or on LinkedIn and let me know. And maybe we'll make that the next video that we do every Wednesday. So if this was helpful, give me a thumbs up, tag a friend. Post your comments. What are your thoughts and processes on this? Does this help you as we're engaging in trade show season? Because that's what it is right now. How do you maximize your time? I think is what everyone's trying to find out. And there's 2 ways to look at it, from a networking standpoint and the transaction standpoint in the business development side point. Sometimes those lines blur. But if you have a relational networking mindset, I promise you, no matter which approach you are going after, you will absolutely be successful. All right. Again, give me a thumbs up if this is helpful. Stay tuned for more tips and videos and posts that we have all week long on our Down and Dirty Networking page on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. And stay tuned every Wednesday afternoon between 3:30 and 5:30 Central, because I go live every Wednesday, sometime between 3:30 and 5:30, to share these great networking tips. If you would like to know more, or you have another question outside of networking at trade shows, and you would love that to be a topic of a video, let me know. And I might answer that question for you, just like I did for Nicole. So, Nicole, thank you so much for asking and engaging on our video. All right. I hope you have a better rest of your evening. And if you've had an amazing Wednesday, I hope it continues to get better for you. I hope those of you like me who need a nap, we all get them and we get them restfully and soon. And for those of you in the United States gearing up for Thanksgiving next week, I hope that any of the festivities that you're getting into, that they are absolutely amazing. And those that just celebrated Diwali, which was a couple of days ago, I hope you are still basking in the glow of Diwali. All right, bye for now. And until we talk again, happy networking.